What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. We are live. Numbers are looking good. Levels are looking like they're moving. It is Friday. It is a great day. It's a gorgeous day outside where I'm at. Like mid 20 degrees. So it is beautiful. Hope you're having a lovely day. Hope you had a great week. How are you doing? And are you ready for the weekend? Hopefully you got some good plans, some relaxing, or maybe you're doing some work like me. Who knows? Whatever it is, I hope it's going to be a good one for you. And welcome back to the Unconventional Mindset. And in today's stream, we are going to continue moving on with pixel pieces. Which of course is the new little kind of thing that we're building, which is going to be a simple component library, which other users are going to be able to join and, download and use the components. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. That's what we're working on today. And of course, in the grand scheme of things, we're working on trying to build a company which is going to generate us $1 million in revenue every single year. And that company, of course, is a creative services company, mainly specializing, at least right now, what we've decided on is building out Webflow websites for customers. And in order to get customers, what we're doing starting on Tuesday, because Monday is a holiday, we'll still be live streaming, of course, is we're going to be emailing at least 25 new potential customers, prospects, leads, whatever you have it, businesses that we know are around here. We're going to be emailing them every single day, and we're going to get to probably by, so if 25 a day, so 125, yeah, we're going to try to get to 500 emails to send out in the month of September. And from there, we'll see what our success rate is in terms of how many actual clients we can get from that. Hopefully, we can get 5, like a 1% kind of thing, which would be phenomenal. And then we could just, reach every month, hit up 500 more people and get those clients, right? So that's what we're going to do. And today, like I said, we're going to go into pixel pieces. And what we have on tap for today is to determine the components. Let's just organize our whole system and what we're going to build here. So we want to determine the categories, and we want to just plan out kind of which components we do want to build. So what we were working on yesterday is we kind of outlined what each page was and how the user is going to flow through the application itself. And it's very, very straightforward. I mean, there's the brochure section, which people can see, the about and pricing features and all that, the fun stuff, just your standard website. And then the application itself, where the user goes in, there's the dashboard. They can get their components and they can just cut and paste straight through there. And they can go into their account settings. They can go to the support page. And then, of course, they can just log out. Very simple from there. And, of course, then the admin section, just something to maybe consolidate some initial primary data, but nothing too crazy there at all. So that's what we're going to be building. And we took some time we also just kind of outlined what Pixel Pieces is going to do and kind of what value it's going to be providing to customers or to clients or just to people. I say that because we have no idea if I'm going to be charging or it's just going to be free. I don't know. I'm not really thinking about that right now because it's really more of a side project and it's not something that I can see overtaking what Pixel is going to be able to generate revenue through building websites for customers. So we're just diving in a little bit more about what the pages of the brochure are going to look like. And then we have potential just ideas of what pricing could look like, whether it's monthly, yearly, or just a lifetime thing. The blog itself, I have a blog where we can teach people how to use the component library and even just use Webflow specifically. And that could be part of the thing where we can even put together like a really good tutorial from walking someone from beginner to intermediate. That would be really cool. And then they would get that as a feature of joining, Pixel Pieces basically. So the blog, portal, about page, features, the change log, if there's anything new that's been changed and updated, especially thinking about the class structure and how we're naming the different elements within Webflow. And then the dashboard and the account help and the admin dashboard. So that's good. What we're going to do, let's just save this as something else. Let's save this as component structure, something like that. So what we're going to do, we're going to completely just delete this stuff here. We're going to go to the component. I gotta spell that. Component. Yes. Okay. So, like I said, what is it that we're looking for? Actually, the categories and the types of components. Okay. So, what do we want? We want to determine how to structure and categorize our library. Yeah. Okay. So initial idea for component categories. So what categories can we have here? So we can have categories. Sorry. So we definitely have like the header, footer. Oop. Trying to think of hero. And we can say home. What is it called? Yeah. So we could say a blog, news, just like a section. Because it's not because when you think of, say you're hitting a home page and then you'll have various sections. And in that section, you could have a blog feed. So it's not the home page or the landing page of the blog, but it's specifically just how that little piece of it is going to be displayed on the home page. So those are two different things. So let's just say home page sections. Maybe let's put that into like a blog, events, and blog. The same as news as well. So what else? Well, homepage sections. We can definitely have testimonials. And then I also think having an image gallery. But do we want to keep that as a section? I think so. And then we can have, what can we have? I'm trying to think of if I should go deeper into like individual pages. Yeah, just say a blog page. Maybe that'll be okay. Blog page. Should it be the whole page? Again, we need to think components, like little pieces that you can put together. And I guess we can put together specific pages, but I don't think like a blog, maybe not so much of a blog page, but a blog layout. Like about layout, and then it could be a team layout. So so this is, that's for an individual. And then there's like generic content pieces, right? So you can have like how do we say content? Like a feature. Like a contact form. Contact address with map. Okay. I don't even know if I'm going to be doing all of these, to be honest with you. This is a lot, but I'm just kind of brainstorming what's on my mind and kind of what's popping up and the different types of sections. That's too generic. What else could we think about this? Let's think. Hello. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? So I'm trying to think of all the generic and all the different types of content pieces you can have on a website and trying to find a similar thread to them. Came across your channel a few days ago. You learn a lot from your streams. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I hope so. I kind of put them out there so that hopefully people can learn from them and even learn from the mistakes that I've made and that I'm sure I will continue to make. But thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I hope you enjoy them. And if there's ever anything that you want me to touch base on or if you want me to talk about anytime, just let me know. I love talking and thinking about business all the time, as you could probably tell. So happy to discuss pretty much anything. And I'm glad you're here. So glad you found me. Okay, so maybe I don't need to think about the content so much right now and not get too specific and maybe stick with the really prominent types of components that people generally have on a website. Like, for example, the menu. I can't believe I forgot that. It's $1 million question. How did I acquire clients when I started? And then, yeah, starting from scratch. No social proof, referrals, or anything when starting from scratch. Yeah, so so when I first started, so I guess I don't know how much you know, so I'll just kind of talk a little bit here about how I first started. I mean, I first started designing websites way back in the day. I think it was 2005, back when there was a big debate as to whether you use tables or div tags to lay out websites. So I didn't know anything about it. Definitely no social proof, no referrals, but it really kind of starts with word of mouth and letting people know what it is that you do. So I was working at the university at the time and I was learning how to build websites, and then people kind of knew that I knew how to build websites. So then people kind of come and ask me, say, hey, can you build a website for me? Because they needed something. And then I just do it. For the first few of them, I think I just did it for fun and there was no money because I had no idea what the hell I was doing. And then my skills just kind of grew from there. And then as my skills grew, then I could actually start attracting money. And again, just really from people that knew me and knew the stuff that I do. And it's really just word of mouth. So it's really about building that network. And for me, it was especially important to build a network of people that I knew from my work that I was doing and from school as well, because I was working at the university at the time. So having a network of people that know who you are and know the work that you do is super, super important. I would say that's even more important than the actual quality of work that you do. I mean, obviously you want to strive for the best, but you have to let people know what it is that you do and that you can do it. And oftentimes most people don't know. If they don't know how to build a website, they don't really know what's involved with it or what have you. They just, want something that gets done. And so for right now, and that was a long time ago. And now fast forward like 15 years, for Pixel right now, because it's been just about a year, the majority of all the clients that I had so far are all from people that I have known and have worked with in the past, say 2 or 3 years. And they know of me and the work that I do because I was doing that work for them in the various companies and the places I was working at. So they tell all the people that they know whenever they hear of somebody who needs a website, they kind of contact me. So you have to develop your network. Well, I'm not saying you have to, but having a network of people that know who you are, know what they do, and that you just let them know. Say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Please let anybody that you know that needs a website to come contact me because I'd be happy to work with them. And then you just kind of go from there. And what I'm going to be doing starting next week, actually on Tuesday, is I want to go beyond my network, because that is the problem that most people have, is how do you go beyond your network? Or what if you don't even have a network? So I have a portfolio. I have my website now, and I'm just going to be reaching out and cold calling to hundreds and hundreds of businesses here that are local and just trying to get business that way. And we'll see if it works. Because if you don't have anything and you're starting from scratch, it is very difficult. And I think what the key is going to be just doing the hard work that nobody likes to do, which is basically like knocking on doors. But in this case, it'll be sending out massive amounts of emails. So yeah, I don't know if that really answers your question, but yeah, it's very difficult and it's tough. And if you're starting from scratch and, do you have a website? Do you have anything that you've done that you can put out there? Put out a portfolio, email all your friends and family, let them know, email all your work colleagues, and then just get yourself out there, because people need to know who you are. I mean, you could be the best person at doing whatever, but if nobody knows who you are and that you do it, then I think it's going to be really, really hard to make a living at it, because people just need to know. So yeah. Yeah, so you don't have a network either. Yeah, okay. Learning Webflow, just getting started, but I want to acquire clients through cold email, social media, even ads. Yeah, social media is going to be good. So what I'm going to do, I think you'll find this really helpful over this next month, because I'm going to be doing lots of cold emailing, and I'm probably going to run ads as well too. So I have some money saved aside to do ads to see how that goes, because I'm really a firm believer of, if you have a good product, and even though you're using ads, people will still, buy from you. And when you figure out how much ad money spent gives you a certain amount of return in terms of how many clients you get, you can just basically turn on the ad machine and just kind of pump money into it, because you're going to be making that money in return, right? So you need to know what your return on investment is. So anyways, I'm going to be doing all that all of September and probably the rest of the year to really see how this goes. So hopefully you maybe learn from my mistakes and kind of how I set up my ads and how I'm going to be optimizing them and trying to see what works, what doesn't work. So, and my the emails that I'm going to be crafting, we're going to be doing all that in real time as well too. So, follow along, and then we'll see how it goes. But if you've seen some of my fewer videos the past week or so, I was talking about this, and I'm really excited about doing this because I really think it's going to work. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. It's going to be exciting. But I'm curious because you're saying that you're just getting started. But how is your Webflow skills and how is your web development and web design skills? Because at the end of the day, I mean, you could spend all the money you want in ads and what have you, and you get people coming to your website or coming into your service and product and, buying from you. But if at the end of the day, you're not delivering a good product, then you're going to have to be careful with that. So you want to make sure that, you can provide what you're selling, right? Looking forward to it. Good. Yeah, it's going to be good. I'm excited. I'm super pumped. Super pumped. Okay, so components, Webflow components. So you're using Webflow. Do you use any component libraries out there? Because there's a bunch out there. This what I'm doing here is not it's not groundbreaking or revolutionary by any stretch. There's lots of really great stuff out there. But I know for me, I don't know, when it comes to web stuff, I just like my stuff. That's why I want to build my own component library so I know exactly how they work. And I can kind of build them my way and just help me do, what am I thinking? Just help me do things my way and do things quick and easy and do it really well. So you're a total noob. I'm curious. Are you on the younger side? But even regardless, learning web design, it's such a fantastic skill. Highly recommended. If you can learn and devote the time to getting good at it. You don't, not even to get like super great or anything, just to get decent at it so that you can put together websites pretty quickly. It can go a long way. For me, again, I started in 2005. When I graduated from university, I did biology and I was, I'm going to be a biologist or whatever. I had no interest in computers whatsoever. But after I learned how to just make websites and doing a little bit of development work, it has opened up so many doors and so many opportunities for me. It's insane. Like getting involved in this tech space. It's like there's always people that need websites. They always need help with anything related to computers or what have you. It's I don't know. It's a fantastic skill to have. I mean, some people are worried that AI is going to take over and people are going to go to AI and AIs are going to start building websites for people. And is that a possibility? Yeah, I mean, I think it's a possibility. For sure it's a possibility. But the thing is AI is only as good as other people that can use it. And if people can't build themselves a website, then they certainly can't use AI to build themselves a website either. So what I see is that AI is going to be a good tool that you could use in your business to help clients and help you, build websites even faster for your clients. Brushing up on HTML and CSS concepts. Yeah, like 100%. It's very interesting. If I was to tell someone if they wanted to learn how to use Webflow and do this like seriously as a career or as a business, like you got to learn, I think you need to learn the fundamentals first. So learning HTML and CSS, and it's not hard. It's really not hard. If you spend like a good week or two really learning everything about HTML and CSS, you'll be like ahead of the curve, like 99% of people just by learning that. And then if you learn the fundamentals, then you could really utilize Webflow to build websites a lot faster. And then you also have to think about the design aspect as well as how things look, what looks actually good. So learning typography, color theory, all that kind of stuff. But HTML and CSS, yeah, learn that. It's the fundamentals and go from there. And it's not hard to learn. Connect with me on Twitter and Instagram. I don't have a Twitter and Instagram right now, just YouTube. I guess what's the word? I'm hesitant to go on other social media platforms because I want to focus on building, I guess, my YouTube channel first, I guess, is what I'm thinking. But a lot of people have told me that I need to get on Twitter or Instagram, TikTok, and all that kind of stuff. And I probably will, but I'm not on there right now. But I appreciate that. Once I do go on, I'll let you know. I'll probably let everybody know, hey, join me on, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. I do actually have a Twitter handle if you search for my name, but I haven't done anything or tweeted on there for like a long time. So yeah, definitely not active, but I probably should. Twitter is a great place to just throw out ideas as well and just talk to people that are like-minded, which is kind of cool, or people that are not like-minded. Yeah, it's funny because I've been on YouTube for forever, but I'm not a big social media guy. It's interesting. I'm always on computers, always doing stuff, but yeah, it's like, leave me alone, social media. Just want to do my own thing, even though I know it's good. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, AI helping us get more efficient. Yeah, it's not going to take over everything. At least Skynet, maybe they're not going to come just quite yet. But it is a useful tool. The problem that I have with AI is how it's programmed, and its bias is already really clear, which is really kind of unfortunate. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting the next 5 years. I'm going to say 10 years, but I can't even think that far ahead. Like, who knows where we're going to be in 10 years, but the next few years is really going to be interesting. And you picked a good time to get into Webflow as well, too. I think it's really going to, I mean, this is just opinion of some random guy off the internet, right? But I think Webflow is really going to take off. It's going to be a really good platform. And I think they're going to get a whole lot more market share in the years to come. And probably take some away from WordPress, because WordPress is just dominating. And it's just so much easier to build in Webflow than it is in WordPress. Okay. All right. Where are we? Components, headers, menu, the hero section, homepage sections, a blog layout, about layout, a team layout, contact us, contact form. Then you have the footer section. You can also have subscription form. I mean, those are the main things. Okay. We're going to have that. We'll leave that now. And say components. Let's say maybe components to build. And these are the categories. Okay. Here are the components that we can build. The various types of components that we can build for each category. Right, okay. We'll keep things simple. So let's start off with the header. So we can have, what can we have for like the second bullet list? Oh my goodness, what are you doing? Okay, yeah, have it a little bit different. Okay, so on the header, and I guess when I think of the header, does that include the navigation? Yeah. It's pretty much what I'm thinking when I say header. So we have a simple logo with basic navigation and like a button. So think on the top corner, the logo, and then, navigation on the right side, right? Yes, right side. Maybe let's spell it out a little bit. Simple logo left with basic navigation and button on the right side. Then there could be lots of variations on these things as well. So we could easily spin off lots of different components, but let's keep it simple for now. So simple logo left, or actually yeah. No, okay, let's keep it like this. With, let's say, basic navigation with a drop down. Or you know what? Oh, okay, I have a better idea. Let's go with navigation, purely just for the navigation. Now, what can we say? We can have, so basic navigation, just text. Basic navigation with buttons or buttons. When I say buttons, like, you know, a join or sign up or subscribe or whatever. So you have your text navigations and then what have you. Then we have, say, a basic navigation with a drop down, with a simple drop down. And then we can have a complex. Well, I don't know if it's complex, but complex navigation with, what am I thinking? It's like a mega menu, right? With what's the word I'm looking for? With detailed drop downs, like not detailed drop downs. I think you know what I'm talking about, right? Like a mega menu where you have the menu and you hover over top an item and almost like a secondary menu comes down, or just 3 options and they have maybe images beside them, right? So just detailed drop downs. So images, icons, complex navigation. And then we can have I think we have, this is gonna sound terrible, but the pull out menu, pull out navigation. Oh, it's Friday. Mine's in the gutter. What I mean by this is where you have like the hamburger menu and you just press it and and it slides off to the side and just kind of opens up the menu. So I personally don't like that, but I think a lot of people do because it's pretty popular. So I just don't think it's the best UI for people that, like, it works for some sites depending on the audience, but for most sites, I love simplicity. I'm a very simple, minimal type of designer, but yeah, so let me just spell this out. So we have the hamburger, pull out navigation, hamburger menu, and then that reveals side menu. Okay. And then there's, it's almost not infinite, but many combinations of the above. So many combinations. Okay. I don't think it's going to be too difficult to build lots of components. But I don't want to build lots of components just to have lots of components, right? They need to be good and to be practical. Because I don't want people to come to Pixel Pieces and be like, hey, come join a library of 10,000 different, components. Like, great, but I'm only going to use, like 10 of them. Like, I need to think for me, like, what am I going to use? And this is what I'm going to do. I mean, obviously I'm taking the sites that I've already built and things that I know and building out the components that I know I use on a pretty much site by site basis. Like the staples, right? Like, this is the meat and potatoes of things. Maybe there can be some more fancy things that are more, I don't want to say more niche, but that won't be used on every site. That's where I think we could make more complex components that have animations that are built in, which would be kind of really, really cool. I think that would be really, really cool. So anyways, so navigation, we got the navigation. So header, I think, how could we say this? A combination of the navigation options above and just various placements of the logo. I mean, really it's going to be top left or middle or top middle. Never going to place the logo on the right side. Well, no. Unless it's right to left, but I've never done that. And yeah, so we're not even going to worry about that right now. Okay, so navigation header, kind of the same thing. Okay, so now we can go into a hero section. So what can we do? We can have my favorite. It's like a full screen. So 100 VH and 100 WH. Or I think it's for, or VW. Oh my goodness, I can't remember now. Let's look. Wow, this is one problem when you start using tools like Webflow. You like forget what certain things are called. Unbelievable. I think it's vertical height and vertical width. Or vertical height. Vertical width doesn't make any sense. Okay, so this thing. Height, VH. Yes, and width would be VW. Yeah, VW and VH. Okay. So I am right. But then what do they stand for? Vertical width? Ah! Okay. CSS, VH, and VW. Viewport width. Viewport. Of course. Of course. Oh, well, I think vertical. Okay, yeah. Viewport height, viewport width. Yes, because it spans, obviously, the whole entire viewport. Anyways, full screen. Background image. Video with hero text. And call to action. And a simple, let's say two column image, and we'll just call it call to action. So the call to action is, just think of a website that you land on and it has, hey, welcome to, hey, you're welcome to Dropbox, blah, blah, blah. Click here to, buy now or whatever. And then they have like an image aside. Now I'm thinking, what does Dropbox look like? Does Dropbox look like that? Okay, it does sort of. So yeah, join this, blah. So this here, that's what I mean. That's like your call to action stuff. And then this is your text, basically, is what this is. So that would be a hero section. So 2-column image and call to action. And then we could do this left to right, right to left, up and down as well. So that's your 2-column image. And what other type of hero? I mean, there's all kinds of different things you can do. But again, we want to stick to the meat and potatoes. let's see, we can have, what can we have? I mean, you can just have different places of your call to action. You know what? Nothing else is jumping out at me. So let's move on. Okay, the homepage sections. Yeah. So, right. Now, how do I want to... How much detail should I write down here versus what we're actually going to sketch out once we're building? Okay, so the blog. I think what I'll say is just sketch out various ways of laying out a blog post, preview. And things to include are, well, the metadata. So the date, category, tags, title. Well, you don't display the link. It's just there. Title, thumbnail, author. Anything else in the metadata? I think that's pretty much it, eh? Things to change / vary. Number of columns. And position of each metadata. Which is just what I'm calling this stuff. Okay. This is a lot of, yeah, this is okay. This is going to end up being quite a bit. I don't want to have too many. I don't know. Okay, we're going to do the same for events because the events are very, very similar. But let's just say events are going to have, what else could they have? Could have a registration. It could have location. And it could have start and end dates. End dates and time. What else can events have? They have lots of different things like keynote speakers, but that's more of the detailed stuff. Say location, but also like the venue. I guess those are a little bit different because it could be, Toronto, but then the venue could be, the CN Tower or the Sky Dome. It's not called Sky Dome anymore. The Rogers Center. No, it's still the Sky Dome. Anyways, you know what I'm saying? There could be different things. So, but we don't need to get bogged too down into these details because these are things that are going to be in a collection and people are going to modify their collections based on their needs anyways. So, okay. So we have the blog and events, testimonials. Same kind of thing here. So what are we going to have? We're going to have the name. We're going to have their avatar. They're going to have their, what's the word I'm looking for? Their title, like their job title. And then, of course, their quote. And you can have one that's scrolling left to right. So we can have them on your testimonials on screen. They can scroll from left to right. You can also have them fading in and out. Where one will stay, and then it'll basically be a timer or a countdown, and then it'll loop into the next one. Basically like a slider. Which I should maybe write that down. Yeah, don't need to get too complex here. And then image gallery. Just have like just an easy loading animation. And also a what's it called? Masonry layout. And then product feature. 2-column layout with image on one side and descriptive text on the other. Very left to right and up and down. Okay. Now we have, yeah. Now the individual blog page. Sketch out layouts. But I'm unsure if this because it is a combination of components. Could make it as a standalone thing. I'm just not really clear on this right now. Actually, that's the same thing. Oh, well, no, maybe not for this one. Image on one side, details on the other. Now, think of unique. Oh. Now that I'm actually thinking about this. So I'm thinking of like miscellaneous elements. So things like, because what I was thinking, right when I was putting this in, you have your about page for a person, and you might want to put like information boxes or little kind of call out things or what have you. So instead of designing things with like pieces within pieces, like they should just be one individual thing that a user can plop out and then put them together to create something, right? So I don't want to necessarily create a whole about page. I want to create all the pieces that a person could use to create their own unique about page, if that makes any sense. So that's what I'm really trying to think of here. And I'm thinking now, instead of writing this out, it would probably be better to start sketching this kind of stuff out. Which I really need to get my overhead camera working so that we can start looking at using good old pencil and paper. Like my favorite thing to do is start sketching this stuff out. So we're going to keep that off of there. So it's the same thing for like team layouts. So maybe this stuff doesn't make much sense. I'm not sure if these ones make much sense, at least right now, until I start putting things together. I'm also trying to keep in mind what my workflow is and how I like to work in Webflow. And like how small would I want to have a piece to be able to cut and paste? Sometimes, yes, being able to get maybe little cards or what have you, like informational cards, have a little piece of card or like a div tag that has, a heading and it's a piece of text and an image. Maybe I want that and I could just cut and paste that into things. But maybe having like a nice full blown, hey, this is a whole about me kind of thing, which has some cute little decorations and a bunch of elements or design elements kind of put around it, to just copy that whole thing and just kind of plug it in. So I can see it going both ways. So I think there's going to be a lot of trial and error here as we're building these things to see what works and what doesn't. Individual page. So let's start thinking about, see, the thing with any kind of contact form is that I think you just make a generic form and then people will easily be able to just copy and paste that and put it into their own grid or their own structure of where they want to fit that form in. There's still different ways that you can lay it out. All right. Individual about. Okay. Well, let me just put a few things here. Contact form. You can have different column layouts for the different text input fields. Yeah, I mean, there's different ways to lay out a contact form depending on what's in the contact form as well too. So that's also something to consider. But I think the idea would be to design the elements, and if somebody wants to copy and paste a different field or put in new fields, radial selections, whatever, they can. We just got to make sure everything's styled. So you need to make sure each form element is part of the styling. So a user can add, remove what they need from their forms. Okay, perfect. Miscellaneous elements, we're going to get to that later because I think that's going to be more of a sketching kind of thing. And let's go to the footer. Combinations of initial navigation. Excuse me. Let's say broken down into columns. logo or logo mark with the creed or the company slogan, the address, and add in subscribe form. These are all the different elements that you can put within the footer. I mean, you can put so many different, you can put whatever you want. You're building a site. You can do whatever you want with it. Oh, lots of different things. Yeah. Options as well as breaking things down into columns. Social media links as well. Yeah. What else can we have in the footer? Is there anything else that I'm missing? You know, once we start sketching out, I think it'll be a lot better. Okay. Yeah, once we're going to be able to sketch a whole bunch of things. I think it's going to be pretty cool. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen people that just sketch. Like, I can't draw very well. Like people that can just draw like characters really, really quickly, like within like a minute or whatever. They have like a character. But what I can do is sketch out things like website components. So I'll sketch those out really, really quick. So we're going to have a lot of components and potential components sketched out really, really quickly here. So we're going to be able to pick and choose the best ones, the ones that are more likely to get used, and basically put together the best of the best. And then we'll create them within Webflow and start building them out. We have to think of two things when we're building. Number one, we got to build the components, but number two, we need to build a website that's going to house the components, and that's going to be the whole application structure of how people sign up and register and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not sure what to do first. I'm almost thinking maybe build the structure first. Like let's build the actual Pixel Pieces website first. And then we could build a component library. Or do we build the component library and then build the website with the component library? Oh my goodness. Maybe we'd have some issues with class naming. That's also another issue I'm not sure how to deal with. There's lots of things that I'm not sure how to deal with this website, which is why this is going to be so much fun to build. And we'll build. And yeah, I think it'll be really good to build it together as opposed to me just doing stuff off to the side. But that being said, there's going to be, like, if I just do 1 hour a day, it's never going to get built, right? Because it's going to take a whole lot more time than that. So maybe what I'll do in September, well, I guess it is September. Oh my goodness, it's September 1 already. So maybe what we'll do this month is I'll stream my regular time, or which is always all over the place. I'll stream reaching out to clients, and then I'll take a break. And then when I get down to actually building stuff, maybe I'll just do like a bonus stream, or I'll stream at night or whenever I work on this. And I'll just put my headphones on and maybe just play some music, and then maybe not as interactive, but just me just working away and figuring things out. So maybe we'll do that. I don't know. Let me know what you think and how you'd like to see it. If you just want to see stuff going piece by piece, or do you want to see the whole thing getting built one piece at a time? So let me know. I'd be interested to hear. All right. Well, thank you so much. Harsh, thank you so much for joining and chatting up with me. Great to have you here, and looking forward to the streams to come. So Friday, I was going to say see you tomorrow, but today's Friday. So have yourself a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you here. Although it is in Canada, it's a holiday. I don't know if it's a holiday in the States, but Monday's a holiday. So have a great long weekend, but I'll be back here on Monday anyways with a new stream. So we'll see you then. Have a good one.